Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Sutapa, so good to see you.
Yes, Mataji.
Are your sinuses okay now? Better?
Yes, Mataji. Yes. How are you? Are
good. Hanging in there. Okay, so let's see. I'm just setting it up for starting on Facebook and things like that. So we'll just get going, huh? Just give me a second. And so what did you do yesterday?
Oh, I was watching the videos. I mean, the morning class, and then in the evening, I joined for Boshishika Prabhu's lecture. For
You did? Okay, very
yes,
good.
Mataji, but not for the whole. I was there around like half an hour because and then doing our homework, posting, reading.
You've been a good girl, huh?
And like the normal work, cooking, dishing.
Yeah, cooking, cleaning. Hare Krishna, Varshana Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Jai Prabhupada.
Okay, my dear, just give me a second here to start broadcasting on Facebook, etc. And then I'll just get back to you, okay? So what's the date today, if somebody can tell me?
13th, Mataji. 13th April.
Oh, 13th April, Vaishakhi, right?
Vaishakhi, 13th April and 13th verse only we have to do.
Wow, look at that. But you had a question on 12, no?
Yes, I wrote.
And what was your question again?
Yes. You want me to tell now itself?
Yeah, just keep that in your mind, and then we'll first read the verses, and then we will just go and do that.
Okay.
All right.
Thoda font bada kar dena Mataji.
Yeah, I'll do that. Thank you for reminding. I had forgotten. Okay.
Mataji, one girl, Varsha Mataji, she is also Shraddha-devi. and she might join today or from tomorrow on.
Oh, very good. How will we handle two
so she said that she will she has written to you on WhatsApp request for adding as a friend.
Oh, is it? Oh, on WhatsApp?
On WhatsApp. She took down the phone number from me.
Oh, I didn't know that was there. Okay. You are on mute.
Okay.
All right, so we're going live now. Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you so much for joining our call, Bhagavad Gita reading, and we're going to read from the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So we'll go round robin, depending on the order of your appearance here on the call. So we will start with Sutapa Mataji after we finish these Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnana-anjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Okay, so we're going to read from the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and Vanshana Mataji wanted me to increase the font size, so I'm increasing that, and I'm going to start sharing it on the screen with you. If you can confirm that you can see that, then we will get going. Starting with Sutapa Mataji, then Varshana Mataji, then Suyash Prabhu, and then Khyati Mataji and Neera. Welcome to the call. Okay, Sutapa Mataji, go ahead with 1 and 2.
Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? Sanjay said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words.
O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupad. Here in this army are many heroic bowmen, equal in fighting to Bhim and Arjun, great fighters like Yujadhan, Virat, and Drupad. Hare Krishna.
Text 5. There are also great heroic powerful fighters like Dhritarashtra, Chetitana, Kashiraja, Bhujit, Buddhibhoja, and Saipya. There are the mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamoja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters.
Is it just me that I hear a background sound, or is it everybody?
Yeah, Mataji, there is some sound, some tick,
Okay.
tick, 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 tick.
Yeah. Can you mute yourself if you're not speaking like that? Okay. So next will be Kathy Mataji.
Yeah. And
Mataji, you want me to mute myself?
No, I think that went away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went away.
Mataji, I was reading 6, right? So
Yeah, let me scroll it up. Yeah, a little bit. And Varshana Mataji, was the font okay for you to read?
Yes, Mataji, this was comfortable. Very
Okay.
nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
Here you go.
there are mighty Yudhamanyu, the powerful Uttamoja, the son of Subhadra, and the son of Draupadi. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. But for your information, O best of Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are specially qualified to lead my military force. And Niral Prabhu is still coming, so
Okay, she will skip over and go to text number 8. And there are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Kripa, Ashwathama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called Bhurishrava, who are always victorious in battle. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons, and all are experienced in military science.
Our strength is immeasurable, and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited. All of you must now give full support to grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army.
Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandseer of Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like a roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. After that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and the combined sound was tumultuous. Hare Krishna.
So yes, you have to unmute yourself.
Text 14. On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna, stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses, sounded their transcendental conch shells. Text 15. Lord Krishna blew his conch shell called Panchajanya. Arjuna blew his Devdatta, and Bhima, the voracious eater and performer of Herculean tasks, blew his terrific conch shell called Poundra.
the King Yudhishthir, the son of Kunti, blew his conch shell to Ananta Vijaya, and Nakula and Sahadeva blew his Sughosha and Manipushpaka. That great archer, the king of Kasi, the great fighters Shikhandi, Drishtadyumna, Virat, and the unconquerable Satyaki, Drupada, and the sons of Draupadi, and others, O king, such as mighty armed son of Subhadra, all blew their respective conch shells. The blowing of the different conch shells become uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra.
Should I go ahead?
Yes, Mataji.
At that time, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot bearing the flag marked with Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrows. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra drawn in military array, Arjuna then spoke to Lord Krishna these words. Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in the great trial of arms. And I'd also like to welcome Neha Mataji, Vidyavadhu Mataji, and Bhaktin Shraddha who are watching us on Facebook. I wish you could join us on Zoom one day and read with us. Till then, let's go ahead. So back to Sutapa Mataji.
Let me see those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. Sanjay said, O descendant of Bharata, having thus been addressed by Arjuna, Lord Krishna drew up the fine chariot in the midst of the armies of both parties.
In the presence of Bhishma, Drona, and all the other chieftains of the world, the Lord said, just behold Parth, all the Kurus assembled here. There Arjuna could see within the midst of the armies of both parties his fathers, grandfathers, teachers, maternal uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, friends, and also his fathers-in-law and well-wishers. Hare Krishna.
Text 27. When the son of Kunti, Arjuna, saw all these different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion and spoke thus. Arjuna said, My dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up.
My whole body is trembling, my hair is standing on end, my bow Gandiva is slipping from my hand, and my skin is burning. I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune. O Krishna, killer of the Kesi demon. Mataji.
I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure we will derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra?
Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune? And how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? O Janardana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin?
Hare Krishna. Text 39. With the destruction of the dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. Text 40. When irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted, and from the degradation of a womanhood,
Sorry. Bachana?
a womanhood, O descendant of Vrashni, comes unwanted progeny.
Okay, we'll stop here. Give me on the last sentence. Give me the first word of the last sentence.
First, Vrashni.
Vrishni, Vri,
Vrashni.
right?
Vri.
Okay. Yeah, Vri.
Vrashni.
Yeah,
Vrashni.
Vri.
Vrashni.
It's like
Text
R
41.
and I.
Like we had Vridha.
Yeah,
Yes.
Guru Vridha. Yeah, that's what we did yesterday, right? Guru Vridha, Rishikesh, Rishi, like that.
True.
Got it.
Vrashni.
True.
Yeah, 41.
Text 41. An increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performances for offering them food and water are entirely stopped. By the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated.
O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplinic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell always in hell. Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts. Driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness, we are intent on killing our own kinsmen.
I'd also like to welcome Rohit Prabhu from India, who's watching us here, as well as Yogesh and Nane Prabhu, Bhakta Yogesh and Bhakta Rohit. And Yogesh is from the East Coast here. So Sutapa, he's from your area. Not exactly, but almost there. 645. Better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. Sanjay said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bows and arrows and sat down in the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. Yay, we did it yet again. One chapter of Bhagavad Gita, reading it together as a team. Now, verse for today is going to be text number 13, as Vaishana Mataji pointed out, that today is 13th of April, and we're also doing verse number 13. Now, before we go into verse number 13, I think when we left yesterday, we were talking about text 12, and we'll quickly look at text number 12 here and see. So text 12 was Tasya Sanjanayam Harsham Kuru Vriddha Pitamaha Singhanadam Vinadyoche Sankham Dadmo Pratapman. And then we had when we were reading from the purport. So of course the verse means that the translation of the verse is, and I'll just read it from here. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhan joy. And in the purport, Prabhupada was saying that, you know, of course, he's telling, he was blowing his conch shell just to raise the spirits of his grandson, Duryodhan, although he had no chance of victory in the battle. And then the last sentence was, but still it was his duty to conduct the fight and no pains would be spared in that connection. Okay. So Varshana Mataji had a question, and I think Khyati Mataji had a question on that as well. So if you can let us know what the question was, and then we can, see how we address that.
Yes, Mataji. The questions are, even after knowing that we are not going to be succeeded and still should act on the same task in our lives, should we do that? And other question is, even after the battle, Hastinapur will stay where it is. The only thing that the ruler will be changed. Then why Bhim was worried about that?
Okay.
Bhishma Dev.
Yeah. So we'll just take one question at a time, right? I can only handle that much.
I know.
My pipeline is one question at a time. So, and then you can repeat the second question once we're done with the first. So here we are saying that he knew that there was no chance of victory in the battle, right?
Yeah.
And you're saying that, but it was his duty to conduct the fight, and then no pains will be spared, right? Nothing will be spared in that connection, right? So let me just go up over here, and I need to stop this and get back my, Okay, so let us first look at what we have in front of us, right? And which is the Bhagavad Gita. That's what we are looking at. And we will address this first from Bhishma Dev's perspective as to why he's doing this and why he's saying whatever, right? And then we will extrapolate and we'll try to apply that in our life. Does that sound reasonable, Varshana Mataji?
Yeah, that question was, Mataji, that even after knowing that we are not going to win, still, I mean, in life also we should act when we know that we are not going to be succeeded in life.
Yeah. And my question to you was that we are first going to address why Bhishma Dev is acting this way, and then we will come back and address your question. Is that okay?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, right. So let's see why Bhishma Dev, he knows that they are not going to win the war. I mean, even we know that, right? And the fear is there even in Dhritarashtra's mind, right? That it's Dharmashetra Kurukshetra. He starts his question, right? Bhagavad Gita opens with that question, which is fear laden, right? So we know that he is he's not going to win. He knows that the fear is there, but still that little hope is still there, right? The fear could be there, but the hope is always there. And then, so we have to first understand Bhishma Deva and the perspective that under which he's, what perspective he has. So if we look at the Varna ashram, right, the Varnas that are there, which Varna is Bhishma Deva?
Kshatriya.
He's a Kshatriya, right? So Kshatriyas have this very strong sense of honor, right? I have said that. Pran jahi, pram vachan na jahi, like that, right? So I have said something and I have to adhere for that, right? So because that they have got this sense of honor inside them, and that is why a person is a Kshatriya or a Brahman or a Vaishya or Shudra not by birth, right? It is because of the qualities that they have. So if you have this quality, then you are portraying Kshatriya, So they have this sense of honor, and then because of this, they will have a fear, and it's a healthy fear. They have a fear that they will not be able to fulfill their promise, right? So Bhishma Pitama is bound by that promise. And what was the promise, Prashana?
The promise was that he will fight for him. He will be on his side.
Yeah, even before that. Even before the Mahabharata war. Has he been making some promises here and there?
Yeah, he will not marry and he will do everything
Yeah.
to protect the Kuru dynasty's throne.
Exactly, right? So that is the promise that he has made. And it doesn't matter. He's bound by the promise, and that is the prominent feature in his life, right? So and this is being in the mode of passion, right? So I made this promise, I'm going to do it, do or die. So these are things that, take you to the mode of passion. And Kshatriyas have to be in the mode of passion for the duties that they have to perform, right? They do administration, war, and things like that. So he has his biggest thing at this point is that this is my promise, I have to keep the promise. And you see in those times when the war was there, people were very they stuck to the rules, they stuck to the promises, like if you're a Kshatriya and you're going to a war, that I will not kill the women, I will not kill an old person, I will not kill a sick person, I will not kill small children, right? So the war were fought on a very different grounds. There were rules and regulations, and people followed that. It's not nowadays that you drop a bomb, everybody gets killed, whether it is women or old men or sick, whatever, like that. So what I'm just emphasizing here is that Kshatriyas will live with a sense of honor. So for Bhishma Pitama, even if he knows that he's going to die, not die, he's not going to win the war, right? Death was in his hands, right? It's entirely up to him whether he wants to live or die. But he knows that they're going to lose the war because he understands that Krishna is on the other side. But still, right? There's not to reason why. There's but to do and die. Into the valley of death rode the 600. So that's a Kshatriya spirit. I mean, we read this poem which talks about a wrong order a military commander gave to a cavalry of about 600 people, and everybody knew that they would die. But these 600 people, what they did was they just went into the valley of death, rode the 600, right? That's Kshatriya spirit. So they will do it. So why? So here in this particular sentence, he knows he's going to die, but it's the Kshatriya spirit that is actually propelling him. And you will see that even when you go further into the Bhagavad Gita, you will see that in the second chapter it's going to come up, when after Arjuna has said that I'm not going to fight the war. Then at that time Krishna is explaining to him from various he put forward various angles, right? That on the grounds of compassion and the grounds of social rules and things like that. He gives all those kinds of explanations and reasons as to why he should not fight. And then Krishna in the second chapter tries to demolish all the arguments that Arjuna has put forward, starting with Sankhya Yoga, like, hey, what are you talking about dying? You are a soul and you're going to live forever. Starting from all that, then he also tries to touch his Kshatriya spirit a little bit when he says that, people will always speak of your infamy. And he says that for a respectable person, dishonor is worse than death. Right? So you'll see that that is the thing that is propelling Bhishma Dev. That although he knows that it's not going to be, there's not going to be a win for him, he's still going to stick by that because that's the predominant, thing in him, because he's a Kshatriya there, right? So
Yes,
I'd like to welcome Dilip Patel Prabhu. Thank you for joining the call, and Dheer Madhavi Mataji and Rasesa Govinda Prabhu, Dandat Pranams. And if you have any questions or comments, Subhadra Dati, Ajay Bahel Prabhu as well, please put them on the Facebook window there as comment on Facebook. So now we understand that why Bhishma Dev is behaving that way, right? He's a Kshatriya, more of passion, bound by his sense of honor. He's got a sense of duty. He has a promise that he has made and he has to fulfill it, come what may, right? He's going to do that. Now your question is that, should I also do that? Okay?
Yes.
Right. So now the question is that it'll vary. First is that, are you a Kshatriya? You're second initiated. Are you a Kshatriya?
No.
No, Brahmana.
The Brahmana. So Brahmana is supposed to behave like a Brahmana, right? Right? So you are going to study and you're going to teach. Patan, Patan, Yajan, Dan, Parigraha. That's what Brahmanas do. That's the predominant thing that should be there in you. So we should be able to say, and that's what Vaisheshika says, I live to be corrected, right? I live to be corrected. If I made a wrong promise and you realize half the way around that it's a wrong promise, give up your ego. Kshatriyas strive on egos, right? Shakuni, it was like, how dare Bhishma Dev come and ask for the hand of my sister for his blind brother. Was my sister not good enough? And then you see, rest is history. So you have to see where you are stationed, and then what is the situation that you are going to that you're going to handle there, right? When it comes to situations where you have a spiritual master and somebody is blaspheming your spiritual master. I mean, the Shastras are very, very strong on that. They say that if you can't defend your spiritual master, then you should leave. or you stand there and defend. So there's a little bit of a Kshatriya spirit there. You stand there and defend. And if you can't defend, you leave. And sometimes they say you commit suicide. I mean, of course, they tell us not to do that. This is Kali Yuga. But so in some places you will be very strong. And like I was telling you the other day, I don't know in which call, but I was telling about one experience that I had about, I was in San Jose many, many years ago now, and Rasik Shekhar Prabhu, he's one of my godbrother. He's no longer on this planet now, but he was sitting in the class and we were discussing, just as you and I and all of us are discussing here, we were just discussing something from Bhagavad Gita, and I forget what it was. And then as part of his reflection, he gave some comments and he kind of tied it to the political situation. Now, just before this reflection session started, and Vaisheshika Prabhu was teaching, and just before this reflection session started, there was a man who came into the classroom. He was late. He pulled the chair noisily. He dropped his keys. He picked them up and he cleared his throat. So he kind of like made his presence known that, look here, buddies, here I come, the mighty, like that. So anyway, so after Rasik Shekhar Prabhu has shared his reflection, which was a very nice reflection, but he had tied it to something political that was happening in USA at that time. And this gentleman who had come, the noisy gentleman, he just came up and said, I don't think it is appropriate in a Bhagavad Gita class to bring up political references. And I was very surprised that, Vaishnavi Prabhu, who's normally very calm and quiet and patient and, goes through thick and thin very nicely, he just roared almost and said, "This is our congregation and we will decide what we discuss." The man fell silent. And then, of course, after 15 minutes, he left the room and went. So, sometimes you bring up that spirit. And why did he do that? Because Rasik Shekhar Prabhu is a devotee. And you don't like when devotees are blasphemed like that for no reason at all. So that Satya spirit will come up like that. So depending on, what the situation is, you let your Satya spirit rise to the occasion or let it not rise to the occasion, right? And sometimes if you know that you're not going to win in a particular case, and that is why I keep on saying that, don't walk the whole walk alone. Have some guides, have some mentors to whom you will go and ask, like, hey, this is a situation. Do you think I should pursue it? Do you think that I should just drop it like that? You were trying to say something, Vaishnavi.
Yeah, Mataji, in between, there was some connection went and I could not hear. That man dropped the key and picked it up, and he sat down. After that, in between two sentences, I couldn't hear. So that's why I was saying. Because I'll listen to your recorded this. Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah. That I was just trying to embellish my statement by giving you an example. So you can, yes, always, you can always listen to that. Yeah, in a nutshell, it was like, that Vaishnavi Prabhu kind of, took cudgels on behalf of Rasik Shekhar Prabhu and kind of, didn't let that man proceed with his blasphemy like that. So I was saying that you have to make a judicious discrimination and a decision on when you let your Satya spirit right to the surface and when you curb it. And if you are in decision, then you go and talk to your peers and not your peers, your seniors and your mentors and your spiritual master. Because dadati prati ganati guhyam akhyati prichati. We might think that I'm on this path, but where is it leading to? And one of the questions, the litmus test for you always is that, whatever I am doing here right now, is it going to help me in my devotional service?
Right.
Because people come and ask this question all the time. I have got this job offer. This job offer is going to give me twice the money, but I won't have any time to chant. What should I do? Is it a win situation for you? Depends on what you want to win. Do you want to win some material gain, or do you want to win spiritual, progress? So those are the choices that you will make. And I think your second question, I think your second question kind of gets covered with that, which is that although he knew that Hasana will stay and the people will come and go, why did he still do that, right? And again, it is not a slur on Bhishma Ma's stature, because he's a devotee, we have to understand, and this whole thing is a play. Because the whole thing is happening, it's Leela. It's Leela and it's a play. And then also what happens in the Leela is that Krishna wants certain things. He's the one, he's the choreographer, he's the script writer, he's the director, he's everything for this play. And when people, so people who are devotees of Krishna and associates of Krishna, and when they come down here to enact in these plays, then they forget that relationship. That's what happened with Arjuna also, right? He forgot his relationship with Krishna. And until and unless he forgets that his relationship with Krishna, that he cannot enact that play, right? He cannot become his friend and then say, hey Krishna, hey Yadav, hey Saketi, like that, right? He cannot do that till he forgets. So that's the mechanism by which Leelas happen. So Leelas have to be handled in a different way as compared to our lives, right?
Okay.
So like that, yeah.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Wonderful explanation.
All righty, good. Thank you for asking that question there. Okay, so what we are saying is that can we now? Oh, Kathy, you had your question was on a similar line, or?
No, I wanted to know the answer. So.
Oh, you wanted to know the answer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so let's go to the next verse here, and we will start sharing the screen for that. Verse number 13 on April 13. Say that again.
Can I read?
You shall. It's your turn. It's your entitlement. I'm just kidding. Okay, let's go here. And verse number 13 coming up here for you, Suyash Prabhu.
Tatah shankascha bhairyascha Panavanka Gomukha Sahasaivaabhya Hanyanta Sashabdastu Mulo Bhavat.
Okay. So I like you to give me this one, this word. Slowly, go slowly over it.
Panavanaka Gomukha.
Panavanaka. Okay, right. You got it this time. Okay, synonyms. Who's going to give me synonyms today?
Okay, Mataji, I'm reading.
Good.
Tatha, thereafter, Shanka, conch shells, cha, also, Varia, large drums, cha, and Panava Anka, small drums and kettle drums, Gomukha, horns, Shahasa, Shahasha, all of a sudden, Iva, certainly, Avayahanta, were simultaneously sounded. Sa, that, Shabda, combined sound, Tumula, tumultuous, Avhayat, became.
Abhavat. Okay. So there are a lot of words, big words here. So we'll go through and give them slowly. Give it to us one more time. This one.
Panava Anka. No, Mataji. Panava Naka means A should be pronounced.
Yes, it is there in
Oh.
front of you. It should be pronounced.
Panava Anaka.
Anaka, you got it now. Okay. Let's go. What is this?
Iva.
Yeah. So when there is a E, then it is pronounced as A. Eva.
Oh, Ava.
Eva. Eva.
Eva.
Yeah. Eva means certainly. Okay. This is a big one, this one, right? So we'll break it into pieces, 3 pieces. 1 piece is here, 1 piece is here, and 1 piece is here. Okay. Slowly. Give us the 3 pieces.
Ya Hanyanta.
There you go. You got it, right? So you see how easy it becomes when you break it? All right. Okay. So translation.
Yes, Mataji. After that, the conch shells, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounded, and combined sound was tumultuous.
Okay, so there is no purport. Class is done. Hare Krishna. Vanchikal. Thoughts, reflections.
Also real.
There's such a big purport, Mataji, in the book.
No, Mataji, there is no purport.
Oh, okay, yes, you are right. Mataji. My page turned. Yes, there is no purport.
So now give me your reflections. Today you have no purport.
Action begins. More action
begins.
follows.
More action begins. Yeah, and we had talked about that, right? Okay. So yeah. Huh?
So many instruments they are mentioning about.
There's so many instruments they are mentioning.
Even though it is war, there are so many instruments that are involved.
Very good. Very good observation. Yeah.
So what is Gomukha?
What is Gomukha? Yeah. And you, yeah. Right? Yeah. So you see, so connecting it with what we had talked, that up until the previous verse, we were having all talk, and then he in the previous verse, action starts, right? He starts blowing his conch shell and gives a lot of joy to Duryodhan. And then he says that Tata Sankasya Bhairyasya Panamanaka Gomukha Sahasavyabihaniyanta. Right? So now there's a whole list of musical instruments that are there. And very interesting thing to note is that how does the Bhagavad Gita start? You remember the first verse?
Yes.
You don't have to give me the Sanskrit. Just give me the English. Yeah.
Dhritarashtra is asking what is happening on Dharma Kshetra at Kurukshetra. What did my son do and what did Pandava's son do?
Pandava's son do. Okay, right? So how many Pandavas are there?
5.
And then how many Kauravas are there?
100.
100, right? So the question was, what did my sons do, right? Pandavas Jaiva, right? Mamaka, all of mine, 100 of them, right? And so what did Mamaka do? And then what did the Pandavas, what the sons of Pandava do? So Sanjay, who's giving the narration, he kind of picks up the most prominent guru, and which is Duryodhan, and tells him what Duryodhan has done, right? Drishtva tu Pandavanikam Vyuram Duryodhanastara. So he sees that, he walks over, he goes to his teacher, approaches his teacher, starts asking, telling him about the warriors on the Pandavas side, and then talks about the warriors on the Kuru side as well. And then we see that the action happens here, right? Right. So now you see that he will now not here, but then he's just beginning to kind of wind up this question, his question that what did my sons do, right? And then what was the reaction? Of course, Bhishmadev is also on the side of the Kauravas, so he's also explaining what Bhishmadev has done, right? And as a reaction to that, what happened? Everybody started blowing their conch shells and things like that, right? So here in the Bhagavad Gita, and then after that, does he cover what the Pandavas do? From your Bhagavad Gita, right? So there are only two questions that are asked in Bhagavad Gita. What did Mamaka Pandavas Jaiva? Dhritarashtra has asked only these two questions, and then the answer to that is the Bhagavad Gita. If you contrast that to, and then of course, there will be more questions that will be asked. Who asks the question subsequently in Bhagavad Gita?
Arjuna.
Arjuna asked, right? Does Krishna ever ask any questions?
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Really wanted to get answers.
I mean, in a sense, what is a point of lamenting? Like he asked, right? If everyone is.
It was more of a question which already had the answer.
Like a rhetorical question.
Yeah.
You ask questions for the sake of emphasis, like that.
Yeah.
Right. What use is it for like that? Does he ever ask a question directly to Arjuna?
No.
Hare Krishna.
Varshana Mataji, tell us.
Mataji, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
No direct. I think that's what I remember. He spoke 574 verses. Krishna.
Very good.
And he is only giving the instructions to Arjuna that why are you lamenting? Like that, you see, he is asking, what is the reason for lamentation? There is nothing. I mean, he in fact gives the answers along with that, whatever
he
They were like a
when he says
rhetorical questions, right? If you
Right,
ask rhetorical questions, yeah. Okay.
Or thought question for Arjuna to think.
Think about this. So planted questions, right? Seeded questions. Okay, good. Actually, Krishna does ask a question to Arjuna. And actually, he opens his conversation with Arjuna with a question. He says, Kutashva kashmalamidam vishame samupastitam anarajustam asargam akirtikaram Arjuna. So he says, Kutasva, from where has this come? Kashmalamidam, from where has this dirt come into your head? You are a Kshatriya and you are saying, I don't want to fight. Akirtikaram. Anarya Justam. It is not the way the Aryans behave. And what do Aryans know? They not know about the existence of the spirit soul, right? So, and you are saying this dies, he will die, she will die, like that. No, right? You are not behaving like an Aryan. Anarya Justam, Akirti Karam, Akirti. Again, it ties back to, you are a Kshatriya. What's going to happen? What are others going to think if you chicken out and leave the world? So he does ask a question. Right? Krishna's opening sentence is a question to Arjuna. And then, so I was just going to do a contrast to Srimad Bhagavatam, so two questions and then it leads to so many verses, out of which 574, as Varshana Mataji says, and I'm relying on that research that Krishna is speaking. And then we have in Srimad Bhagavatam, we have got the sages of Naimisharanya, right? Bhagavatam opens with how many questions?
6
questions, right? And of course, on top of the 6 questions, there are many, many more questions and many, many more conversations and things like that. Similarly, I was saying that this Bhagavad Gita also opens up with these 2 questions. Mamaka Pandavas Jaiva, Kim Akurvat Sanjaya. What did they do? This is asking, right? So he has answered a part of the question, right? And it's kind of winding it up here. That this is what Bhishma Pitamaya did. And then he's telling us the aftermath of that. Aftermath of what happened, right? And then he's saying what? Tatha Shankhascha Bhairyascha Panavadaka Gomukhaha. It's like, these instruments are there. And then, of course, you think, what is Gomukhaha, right? Sounds like go, sounds like a cow, something like that. So remember, we are 5,000 years after, post Mahabharata. And so this has now become ancient thing for us. So these are ancient instruments. And we have to remember that depending on a situation, and we are from ISKCON, right? We follow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We believe in sound vibrations. We are a sonic religion, right? Rajashri Prabhu says. So we believe in the power of sound, and so did they. And so we always have had, different instruments for different situations. Right. So here, before the war is going to start, in earnest, I mean, the war has actually started with the blowing of the conch shell by Bhishma Devi. He has signaled the start of the war, right? But action. So before the war, people have to be brought into a mode of, and what's the mode? Goodness, passion, or
Passion.
right? So we need those kinds of instruments, right? So for example, if there is a wedding that is happening, right? So the bridegroom comes in a procession. What do people usually play there?
Drum.
Drum, right? Okay. Then the wedding starts to happen, right? And they are doing the Saptapadi. What do you play during the Saptapadi?
Shehnai.
There you go, right? You don't play drums during Saptapadi. Okay. Okay. Now, if you go to a football game, will you play Shehnai over there?
No.
Right? So depending on the situation which is there and what you want to bring out of it, you will play the appropriate musical instrument. Right? There are musical instruments that will also bring out the mode of goodness in you. Can you tell me of a famous musical instrument?
Flute.
Flute, okay.
Harmonium.
Harmonium.
Kartal.
Kartal.
Mridanga.
Mridangam, yeah, depending on how you play it.
What
Yeah.
we call this, Ramakrishna Hari, did they do like this?
No.
Narada Muni does this.
Yeah. Yes, Veena. I was looking for that answer. Right?
What is that, Mother?
Veena.
Veena.
Narada Muni's Veena. Yeah. Right. Narada Muni bajaye Veena Radhika Raman Name. Right? That song. So which we sang in the Yatra, right?
Yeah.
So
We
last
missed
year.
Panchaka, by the way.
Sorry?
We missed Panchaka. Sorry to interrupt.
No, we will do that. We will do that. Yeah, we'll do that. So Narad Muni also has got the Veena because what he does, he wants you to come into the mode of goodness. Saraswati, what does she hold?
Yes.
Veena.
Veena.
Right? So why does she have the Veena? Because she'll first play the Veena because for you to get knowledge, you have to be in the mode of goodness, right? Mode of goodness is characterized by knowledge and happiness, right? Bhagavad Gita tells you later on. So she'll play the Veena so that you get into the mode of goodness. And then from there, you will go, and be able to understand. So depending on the situation, then you will use an appropriate instrument like that, right? So behind every musical instrument, and most of you are from India, so you know that music can also cure diseases, right?
Yes,
like Rag Bhairavi can cure this, and music can even bring Megh Malar, right? So Megh Malar, what happens? That rag will first bring the cloud, and then you'll have rain, like that, right? So a sound has got a lot of effects. Did you ever notice that a lot of time we talk about and we come across situations that there was a dead body floating on the river Ganges, and that man had been bitten by poison? So how come dead bodies are floating in Ganges? Why are they not cremated? Right? We do cremation of the bodies, right? So what happens is that when a person dies by snake bite, there are mantras which can be chanted and which will bring the person back to life, like which can negate the effect of poison. So when people died from snake bite, people will not burn them, but just put them in the Ganges with the hope that, if the body comes across some person who has that knowledge to chant the mantras, then the body will come back to life like that. And it has happened in situations, Bhagavatam has got stories like that. So we have to remember that there will be sound, and sound is very effective, and sound will play a role. And in the war also, we are engaging sound. So we have got different kinds of instruments, and these instruments, like the conch shell, Bhishma Pitama is blowing. So he's a warrior, right? And then in the subsequent verses, we will know that the conch shells were also blown by, this one was blown, Sughosha Mani Pushpaka, Krishna will also blow his conch shell, right? Like the Arjun will blow, Devadatta, and so on and so forth. So these are warriors who are blowing the conch shell. So the conch shell is kind of like a little bit specific. And conch shell actually is used for both the things. It's used in the war, plus where is this conch shell used?
In the temple in the morning.
Temple, exactly right. So it's used in the temple, and in the temple you see that the curtain is closed, and the pujari from behind, he blows the conch shell in the morning before the darshanarti, right? So he's signaling to you. He's signaling to you that Krishna is arriving. He's going to give you darshan. So you better be on your alert and put on your best behavior, like that, right? Where else do you see announcements like that? Do you ever, in any other place, you see any other kinds of announcements that are made in material life?
Yes, Manaji, when program starts.
Yes. Before the beginning of a program, you see announcements. Okay. Where else do you see announcements?
Train station.
Like
on a train station, you see announcements. Very good. Yeah.
With music, at least in
even
the platform.
Okay. Does the train itself announce something?
Yeah, Mataji, the horn,
horn of the train itself, right? So
yes.
when that person is coming into the station, the driver blows the horn, and so you know the train is arriving, right? Like that. So otherwise, there's always like, Delhi se Bombay jaane wali gaadi abhi apne nirdharit samay se 2 ghanta piche chal rahi hai. But platform number 3 se ravana hogi, like that. They're always announcing. So there's some announcement that's going on. So with the Bhishma Pitama blowing the horn, the announcement blowing the conch shell, it was an announcement that there is the war is begun. And so then that's a conch shell. And then on the other instruments that are there, right? Tata bhairyascha, right? So those list of instruments that are there, those were usually not kettle drums and all that. Those were not done by the warriors. So in a war, you also had other people assisting, right? So you are concentrating on the war, and then somebody is giving the music. Because of the music, you will start action. Like what happens in the temple, there's mridangam, and then why do you start tapping your feet? Because the music is having your effect on the body. So similarly, they also want that effect to happen in the warrior. Otherwise, how will you go and kill, right? So you have to be at that low. So these instruments are going to do those kinds of things. So the bhairya, right? The bhairya, tata bhairya, right? So the bhairya is a kettle drum, right? The half, like a dhindora, that, right? Then panava is also a small drum, right? Sometimes panava is also used for a cymbal, for a kartal, that the panava drum is used. Anaka is also a drum. So, anaka, does anaka remind you of something? Does the anaka name?
Anagha.
No, anaka. I'm looking for the word anaka itself. Well, here, I'll give it to you. Anaka Dundubi. Does that remind you of something? Anaka Dundubi. Anyway, Anaka Dundubi is Vasudev's name, Krishna's father. So when Krishna's father was born, so whenever somebody was born, people used to start playing, right? All the time in Bhagavad Gita, in Srimad Bhagavatam, you see, like you hear about all the incarnations of Krishna, like a boar avatar. He will come and he'll slew Hiranyaksha. And then what do the demigods do from the higher planets? They start putting down the flowers, and then they start playing the kettle drums. So it happens all the time that whenever you want to rejoice, you start playing some musical instruments. So when Vasudeva was born, then at that time they had played the anaka, and they had played a dundubi, which is again a sort of a drum. So they had done that, and so that's why his name is also known as Anaka Dundubi. And then we have Go Mukhaha, right? So they played Bhairyas, Panava, Anaka, and Go Mukha. So Go basically means cow, right? So cow, or in the category of a cow. So Go Mukha again is an instrument that looks like, the face of a cow. Like, yeah, not the horn. The horn,
Okay.
yeah, the horn is different. So a bull horn, those are different. So that will be, a bull horn will be close to a turi, turi,
Ture.
like that. Yeah. No, this is shaped like a like a cow. The face of a cow, which is how the cow shape is, and then there are ears, and then there are horns on the side. So it's kind of like that in its shape.
Oh.
Actually, there's also a Gomukh asana in yoga.
Yes,
You
yes.
can Google that, and you can find out that why it is called the Gomukh asana is because the way the feet are kept, the way the person keeps his feet, they look like the face of a cow. So Gomukha asana is like that. So that's Gomukha. So Niral Prabhu, the answer to your question there on what Gomukha is.
So,
now,
Mataji, Anka, sorry, Mataji, 1 minute. Anka was the name of Vasudev or Vasudev?
father of Krishna.
Father, Vasudev.
Anaka.
Vasudev.
Anaka. Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah. So here also one of the things we have. Was there a question there?
No, Mataji, thank you for the clarifying Gomukha and everything.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So then, okay. So that's about the instruments, but we have to step back a little bit. That why is that? I mean, here is a war, right? Here is a war going to happen, and what are you doing? With all these things that conch shells are blowing, and I blow my conch shell, and you blow your conch shell, and things like that. So we have to remember that the Kshatriyas, for us, war is horrible, right? And we are looking at, like, is the war going to come? Is the war going to happen? I'm going to have the Third World War. Oh, it'll be a mess, royal mess, like that. But for the Kshatriya, they're waiting for the war. They're waiting for it, right? That's the spirit of a Kshatriya. I mean, and whenever you have a skill, you want to demonstrate the skill. For example, young girls from the age of 3 are put into learning the Bharatnatyam. And then when they, go bigger, older, they learn the skill perfectly. Then what happens in a Bharatnatyam? What's the big event for a Bharatnatyam dancer?
There's a competition.
We do the stage show.
You do the stage show, yes, and that is called Arangetram.
What is that?
Arangetram. Arangetram is when she comes out and she performs in front of an audience. And Arangetram is huge. Arangetram is a huge affair. I mean, I was shocked to know that if you have a daughter in USA and you are trying to perform the Arangetram, it can run into tens of and thousands of dollars. Like that, trying to arrange musicians, trying to arrange the hall, inviting all the people, the dress, the jewelry, the teacher, all that kind of stuff. It's a big thing. And why? It is because you are going to showcase the skills that you have. So Kshatriyas, the skill is war, right? So they will go and they want to display those skills. So for them, war is actually a sport. Like for us, but it is a very dangerous sport because what is in the stake? Your life is in the stake in a war. Right?
Like you see, Mataji, doctors also, when the patient comes, you see, for them, it is very exciting. The other day, Anuj called up and he said, that patient was really exciting. You see, when I looked at him, I felt that this medication should work on him. And this should be done, that should be done. So, and we get worried about the patient.
Yes, yeah. So yes, very nice parallel on there. So this war is actually a sport, and then they would be sporting. Of course, the life is at stake, but they don't care. And why does the Kshatriya doesn't care? Because he knows where is he going to go after he dies.
He's going to heaven.
He's going to go to heaven, right? Right. And then we always have this question: if so, he's going to go to heaven, and then so I was on the good side. I was on the side of Pandavas, and I was fighting, and I died. It's okay. I went to heaven. But what about those who fought on the side of Kauravas? Were they all good people? How come they're going to heaven? Right. So we have to understand.
They did their duty.
Say that.
But they did their duty.
In presence of Krishna.
They're in the presence of Krishna. Well, if you die in the presence of Krishna, you don't go to heaven. You go back to Godhead.
They died at the place of Dharma Kshetra, right? That's why
they're dying in the place of Dharma Kshetra. Okay. Yeah. So does it mean that you can do all kinds of bad things and then you die in the Dharmashitra, everything will be taken care of?
No, Dharmakshetra doing their duties, right?
Doing the duty in Dharmashitra, then you are entitled to heaven, right? Okay, so all this combined, but we have to keep this in mind that we are talking about a heavenly planet. We are not talking about them going back to Godhead. They've just gone to a heavenly planet.
Yeah.
And there, Shine Punye Marta Lokam Vishanti, the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is going to tell you that. And what is then? That is that you did some punya karma, right? You fought, right, for your country. You did some punya karma, so you elevated to a higher planetary system. You go to the heavens, and then when you have enjoyed, then come back, buddy. You'll go back, fall down again. China Purniya, Marta Lokam Vishanti, you'll come back. So for a Kshatriya, it doesn't matter. I'm going to get even better life there. So they are bound. They are encouraged by that thought. So for them, it becomes a sport. And then whenever we have something like that, whenever there's a big event that is coming, we always try to have a little bit of a ritual over there. For example, a child is born and you want to name him Shnicky, right? So what will you do? You'll have a little yagya, you'll get the pandita, you'll invite your friends, and then they'll all sit down, there'll be little prayers, and you throw some water, there's achaman, and throwing samigri into the fire, the good agarbatti, argu, all that is happening, right? So you always try to do a little bit of a ritual there. And rituals are not there. So rituals are happening here in the war. Rituals happen all the time in our other lives as well. There are rituals, and people like to, if there's a ritual, then again, it encourages you to do that. Sometimes you will have rituals that will bond you together. For example, Girl Scouts, like those of you who are in USA, right? They're Girl Scouts, right? So when the Girl Scout meet each other, how do they greet each other? They have a special way of greeting each other. They do something with their left hands and then they'll shake with the right hand. It's a little ritual that they will do when they are meeting each other, because then that bonds them together. So rituals are used for bonding people. National anthems. Why do you have national anthems? Why do you sing national anthems? Why do you have a flag? Oh, I am under this flag, right? So I am an Indian. Oh, I am under the star-speckled banner. I am an American, like that. So these rituals and these emblems, etc., are there all to, bring the general mood towards whatever the goal people want you to take you to, right? And then, of course, having the effect of sound. All know Martin Luther King's, very famous speech that he gave, which had so much of effect on the people. So sound will have effect. So that's why people will do all that. So that's why in the beginning over here, we are having all these musical instruments that are being played here, so that in the general, the mood is going to go up. And sahasavya bihanyanta, suddenly all of them started, and then the sound became tumultuous. And the idea is that all of you come into the mode of passion. There is no going back. The war has started. Okay, so that was that little verse there that Sanjay is telling that. So we are at 7:32 right now. Any last comments or questions? And welcome, Sunita Datta Mataji from India. Thank you so much for joining. And Deepthi, yeah, you were close about Narad Muni holding the veena, not Ektara. Ektara is slightly different from that, but it's also a musical instrument that brings out the goodness in you. And Neha, you answered King, but I don't know if it's a question. Yeah. And then Neha is saying the 18th chapter. Okay. That's a question. Yeah, they're very nice. When I was asking that, has Krishna, does Krishna ask any questions? And then the answer Vidyavadhu is giving, Vidyavadhu or Neha, I don't know which one, they are sharing the same account, is that he says that, I have told you everything and I have understood it. And now you do whatever you want to do. So that's also a question that he had asked. Yeah, good reflections there. And what else? Anything else that stuck your mind from today's lecture? From this monologue that went on for such a long time? So you're going to get a bharia? Parma, Anaka, Gomukha. Which one are you going to get? You should play drums.
Veena.
Veena. Okay, good. Yeah.
Mataji, it was a dialogue, not a monologue. You answered so many questions for us.
Okay, good. Thank you. I'm glad I was able to. Okay, good. Anything else?
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, I have a this thing. Shri Krishna said 574 shlokas. Arjuna said 85. Dhritarashtra said 1, and Sanjay said 40.
Very good. But who said all of them?
So this list. One was said by Dhritarashtra.
But who spoke
Krishna.
all of them?
I think Sanjay. Or
Sanjay, exactly. You have to remember, Sanjay is narrating this whole thing.
Yes.
So Sanjay is telling that, and then Arjuna said, and then Krishna said, and then he said, and then has said, right? So it is actually Sanjay who's speaking the whole thing, right? But then, of course,
Right.
he's repeating what is happening, but actually, Krishna, yes, did speak all of them. Good statistics. Somebody wants to count and verify as homework. Okay.
Yes, but
Okay. So you had mentioned two things I have remaining, and one of them is that we'll wind up with the prayers.
That prayer.
Yeah, we'll wind up with the prayers. But I also wanted to ask you that can you please guide me on how I handle the Saturday class, the Bhakti Vriks, how you all want to do, because I didn't see any communication happening on the group on that.
You take off, no, on Saturday?
No,
For this class?
That's Saturday evening Bhakti Vriks.
Okay.
5:30 a.m. PST. Mataji, I think it is good to, at least we can start with the first part, how the Bhakti Vriks thing happens. Which from the book, which we didn't cover, because I think we probably forgot what we learned at that time, and then some new devotees are also there. Again, that's just my thought.
I think the same, Mataji. We can go up till 12th or 13th chapter where you just started. So you will complete a whole circle with us, and that way we will go through everything again.
And we'll be
start
Bhakti
Bhagavad
Vriks
Gita or any
certified by
other
you.
book.
And we'll be Bhakti Vriks certified by you, Mataji.
Yes.
I'll give you an exam. Okay, I just wanted to test out something from you. So just bear with me for a minute here. And this is for the general bigger purpose. Okay, so can you look at your screen here, on your screens, on your computer, wherever you are? And let's see. Okay. Do you see something come up on your screen?
Cool. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
answer.
Should we start from the beginning of the Bhakti Vriksha book?
And you get a choice to answer? Okay.
Both is yes and yes, Mataji.
Okay.
Mataji, which book are you going to start with?
Mataji, in Bhakti Vriks, we don't give out a book, but we give out some, we extract some chapters from the book and give it out on the Bhakti Vriks. It happens every Saturday now, and it will be at 5:30 a.m. your time. And I'll encourage you to read messages that we post on the WhatsApp group, right? There is a WhatsApp group called San Mateo Bhakti Vriks, to which we recently added you, right? Are you right? Where you were asking the question yesterday about
Yes, Mataji.
yeah. So you read that. You read that, and then you'll come to know about more classes that we hold other than the regular ones that we have. So that way you won't miss out, and you will know the timing also. But it's in the morning,
Oh.
Mataji, what does that it means that we start from the beginning? Because I have no idea. I have seen couple of your videos, I mean lectures, previous one when you used to take the classes on devotees' house. So, so what does that mean, Mataji? That should we start from the book?
From the beginning, right? Yeah. So we used to have that in devotee's house, but now because of the social distances, we can't have it. Although Khyati Mataji wanted us to come over to her home and had conducted, but I kind of just said no, that because the government has said that don't
Yes.
stay away. So we follow the rulers. And so then we decided to go online, and we did it online, and it was such a success. I mean success in terms of the technological success, right? The technology worked greatly in our favor. And so we decided to have it every week instead of every other week that we had. So now we have it every Saturday at 5 p.m. in the evening.
Yes.
And that is 5:30 a.m. for you, Varshana, and those watching us online from India. So 5:30 a.m. we have got this. So this Bhakti Vriksha is actually an ISKCON course, and it's meant for beginners and kind of goes into the fundamentals. But I find the book to be very appealing to me. I'm a beginner, which shows. And then so those classes were conducted by somebody else, actually my Vartman production guru, Raseshwari Leela Mataji, and who used to do that with Khyati. I was not involved with that. And then she moved out of San Mateo, and she requested that since I was living in San Mateo, that I could take over from her and kind of continue the classes. So I continued. And so when I started giving the classes, I started from chapter 13, I think, and I don't know what's with 13 today. 13. But anyway, so I started from 13, and then last week we came to the end of that book. So I had asked everybody that, what do you want me to do next? You know, should we start again from the beginning? Because not all of you who attend these classes attended the Bhakti Vriksha that was ongoing under Raseshwari Leela Mataji's.
Yes, Mataji. So
we
it
go
is a
from the
bit.
beginning, or should be, like that? So that was the question that I was asking.
Oh, yeah, it will be good, Mataji, because we were not there. Means we just joined like couple of weeks ago.
Okay, yeah. So that was what my question was.
Actually, one quick thing. So, in case the timing wise, right? If a little bit 1 hour later works for India, for devotees in India, if that is possible, I'm just thinking.
You know what? And I think it should be possible. And I'll tell you the reason why we started at 5. And Khyati Mataji, you'll remember, I think those days we were reading from the Ramayana.
Yeah, Ramayana.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, from 6 the ISV used to read from the Ramayana. So I said, okay, I was broadcasting, right? I broadcast the ISV programs from my computer. And so that's why we said, okay, but we'll still do it an hour before. They were broadcasting from 7, and I said, okay, we'll do from 5 to 6, knowing very well that we will overflow, go to 6:30, and that will give me half an hour to set up the 7 o'clock thing. But if you want this to be pushed out from 5, you want to make it 6, then we can make it 6. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I think people in India would be able to attend, right? That time.
It actually depends. Yeah, it actually depends on
Oh yeah, that is
because sometimes people might want to use that time in the morning to do their sadhana.
Yeah.
Chanting is, Mataji, chanting suffers if it is too early in the morning.
Yeah. So there's recording over there like that. So I will again leave it up to you for you to close. I'm kind of just thinking that the general consensus here is to start from the beginning of the book. And
Mataji, if you're starting from the beginning, I would like to join one thing. And if you're giving 6:30 time, it will be very nice, so that at least more than half the chanting will be over by then.
Okay.
But that might be late for Sutapa Mataji, since she's on the East Coast, right?
On the East Coast.
Oh.
No, that is okay, Mataji, for me, because I'm very sorry to say, but every Saturday means when the the situation will be normal. So most of the time means that 8 and 9 we are not available of every Saturday. So I will always hear or listen the recording. So please means you go ahead and you do according to your specific time. So that's okay. That's fine with me. So if I am available, I will join. Otherwise, I will listen the recordings.
Okay. So should we then move it to 6 o'clock?
6 works. Yeah,
Okay,
that's fine.
that'll work for you, Varshana Mataji, right? Yeah,
Yes, Mother.
because we shouldn't, yeah, and from here we should not push it any further out. And the reason is that, I have calls after that. I have my other calls that go at least until 11 o'clock in the night,
Oh, wow.
like that. Yeah,
Oh, God.
Bhakti Vaibhav and things like
Okay,
that.
if you want to push only half an hour, then you can push only half an hour. That's
Mataji, it's your convenience is also important, Mataji.
Yeah, no-
Don't only about us.
Yeah, that is fine. That is fine. I also want to, kind of make sure that everybody's chanting is also done in the morning. Right? Like I also split my chanting. I try to do as much as possible in the morning. So if somebody starts talking to me at 4 o'clock in the morning, I don't respond at all because my main focus is to try to do as much of my chanting before the class begins. This class begins. So like if you find me unresponsive in the morning to your questions and comments, that's the reason that, I'm focusing on the chanting part. So okay, so we'll make it at 6 o'clock there. And we look forward to your participation. And Varshana Mataji, we have it on Zoom, so you can join it on Zoom.
Okay, Mataji.
Alrighty. Vanchikalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhya patitanam pavnebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Gopremanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
Okay, thank you so much for joining the call. Those of you who are watching us on Facebook, as well as those of you who are watching me here and participating on the Zoom. Have a wonderful Krishna conscious day. Please stay safe,
Thank you
and
so
we will meet again on
Thank you so much, Mataji.
much. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranams.
Dandavat Pranam.